Hi, I'm Beth Graves, and thank you for joining us on the Circus Arts Spotlight. Each week, we'll shine the spotlight on the people, programs, and events of the Circus Arts Conservatory. In addition to professional and student youth performances, we'll explore incredible outreach programs and learn how the circus arts impact so many aspects of life. For more information on today's topic, or anything circus arts related, please go to our website, circusarts.org. Now, let's get started. Today we're going to be speaking with Tegan Allen. And Hi. So Tegan is a student at Sailor Circus, and she's been in the program for quite a few years, and she is one of our Ringmistresses, which means she's a very well-spoken young lady. So Tegan, how did you hear about the Sailor Circus Academy?
So I think I just heard about it through Buzz in Sarasota. My parents did. I came to my first performance when I was in 4th grade, and I just instantly fell in love. Every single act, I was tapping my mom on the shoulder and saying, I want to do that, I want to do that. So some of my friends were in circus also. So she signed me up on the waiting list. I was on the list for about 2 years, and then I joined in 6th grade, and I've been here ever since.
So before you were able to join the academy, was there summer camp then, or was there no camp?
Yeah, I was in summer camp for the year before circus, I think, the year before I joined.
Yeah.
And it was just so much fun. I remember just falling in love with it even more and wanting to do the shows, like big time, not just the camp shows. Yeah, but I just loved it.
Well, yay. So I was going to ask how you felt when you very first started with the program.
When I first started in the Sailor Circus program, it was a little bit overwhelming because there's just so much that you can do, like aerial acts. My first year I was doing like 3 aerial acts. I was doing clowning, character work, balance work. So you really have to kind of find your niche. But once I did, I just loved it and just working on like those things like Ringmaster and High Wire.
So, and when you very first start, I know right now there's a lot of hours that all the kids put in. What were your hours like?
Ooh, in 6th grade, I was doing so many acts. I think I had 5 acts my first season. So that's about like 3 hours a day. So I would say like 15 hours a week about.
And that's in addition to your regular school?
Yeah, that's addition to school too.
So
there's a lot.
And also your parents have to be very involved in the program.
Oh, yeah. My mom is always volunteering, my dad too, and my mom loves doing like costumes and stuff like that, but they're always involved asking me how it's going, coming to shows, taking pictures and stuff.
So you said you started when you were in 6th grade,
mm-hmm.
and you're a senior now, so you're going into basically your 7th year.
Yeah.
And so do you feel like you've made some friends that will be your friends for life from this program?
Oh, definitely. When you're with the same group of people 15 hours a week, every week for like 7 years, you're bound to become lifelong friends. Especially the senior girls this season, I feel like we've grown very close since all of us have been here for at least 7 years. Like there's not really any newcomers, and we've just grown so close. We go to Busch Gardens together. We just went to a football game the other day, and I know no matter where we're going to go to college, I know we'll all stay close.
And are you all applying to similar colleges?
Yeah, I think almost everyone's applying to FSU, which has a circus school in it,
right,
and UF, but everyone's kind of applying different places, though, and going on their own path, which is exciting.
Okay, so have you seen the circus at FSU before?
Yeah, I have. I have seen the Flying High Circus. A lot of my friends who have already graduated were part of it. I think it's really cool.
So I've never seen it. Is it?
Really?
I've seen the tent from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Is it similar to the arena when you go in, or is it similar to the big top?
It's more similar to the big top. It's more like a tent and less like an arena, I feel like. I saw it years ago. I only saw it once, but it was really cool. It reminded me a lot of Sailor Circus, and of course now when you kind of see a circus and you're in circus, I feel like it takes away just a little bit because you know what they're doing. It kind of takes away the spectacle of the thing.
Yeah.
But it was really cool and well put together, and I loved seeing my friends who had graduated from Sailor Circus in it. It was awesome.
Very cool. So one of the things that we really talk about when we talk about Sailor Circus Academy is the fact that you're learning life lessons. Do you can you add to that? Do you have life lessons that you feel that you've learned? Has it made a difference in the way you behave?
Oh, definitely. I feel like the biggest life lesson I've learned is balance, not just on the high wire, but kind of in my life. because especially this year, I've had to balance circus, school, my family, and now applying to colleges, which is a lot. So just learning how to kind of dole out your time and just figure out like what your schedule is going to be, I feel like is a really important skill, especially going into college where you're going to be even more independent. That's going to help me a lot. Also, just teamwork, learning how to work with people is going to be something in any job that you go into that I've learned from circus.
And as I said earlier, you are one of the Ringmistresses, and so you're obviously a very good public speaker.
Oh, yes. Public speaking, that has helped me so much. In my school, we're a Montessori school, so we do a lot of presentations, a lot of plays, things like that, and I've just never really gotten stage fright or anything like that because of my public speaking, and it's just going to help me so much, I know, like throughout my entire life, giving presentations and stuff like that. That just makes everything so much easier.
So that leads me to my next question, actually, is how do you feel the program is going to help you in your future endeavors? So public speaking, obviously, are there, well, and also you said time management. What do you want to go into when you're in college?
When I'm in college, I want to go into communications, which I feel like anyone could have guessed from ringmastering. I just love talking to people and connecting with people and things like that. And communications is just really broad, I feel like, but also all of my skills that I've learned in circus, like public speaking and stuff like that, can really be translated really easily in communications.
And you've done a lot of interviews as a Sailor Circus Academy student.
Yeah.
So do you want to be on the other side? Is that what you're looking, or you're not sure yet?
I'm not sure. Last year I did do an internship with ABC7 anchor Scott Dennis. He's actually one of our fathers here at Sailor Circus to another student. And it was really fun to be in the newsroom because everything is so like fast paced and things like that. And I really loved it, but I'm not quite sure. I think I'm going to go into public relations or telecommunications, but I haven't decided yet.
No, you don't have to decide yet. That's okay. So right now as a senior, what are your acts that you're performing?
I'm performing in High Wire and Ringmaster, which isn't a lot, but like I talked about time management, it helps not to be in a bunch of acts when I have a lot of other things going on, and those are just the two that I love the most.
Oh, those are the two that you love the most. I was going to say, what is it that you like to do the most during performances? So
during performances, High Wire can definitely be really stressful, but it's just really thrilling too, and I love it. But during performances, my favorite thing to do is just perform, honestly, especially in Ringmaster. When you go out there and you say the right words in the right order and get an entire audience to rise to their feet, just the feeling is so electric, and you just want to keep going and like do it again and again. It's so much fun.
So do you have a pre-show routine that you do that helps you get ready for shows?
In the girls' dressing room, we always just kind of blast music and do each other's makeup and hair. A favorite is the Greatest Showman soundtrack, and that's a pre-show routine every show.
And what about stretching? Do you have to stretch? I guess for High Wire. But
yeah, for High Wire, especially for splits and stuff, you do have to stretch, but mostly just getting in the right mindset. I feel like it's super important for performance.
Okay, and you have worn some really cool costumes. As a matter of fact, skipping topics for 1 second, Tegan was one of the performers that came with us to Washington, D.C. in 2017 as part of the Smithsonian Folklife Festival. Yeah. And while we were at that festival, we introduced some really incredibly cool costumes, and Tegan wore a flamingo costume on stilts, and it was really very cool. It was one of the things I personally remember most was the kids on stilts. So how was that for you?
The flamingo costume is kind of iconic now in the Sailor Circus community. Everyone, whenever I'm doing stilts, are like, are you going to be the flamingo? And me and my other stilt performers have named it Piglet. That's the name for the flamingo. But I really loved it. Just everyone coming to take pictures with this giant flamingo was just really fun. And the pictures I have on the mall at Washington, D.C. in front of the White House, looking like I'm riding a giant flamingo, can never be recreated.
So that was not the White House, that was...
Or no, the on the mall in front of the, like...
Yeah, I can't remember what the name of the building is. How embarrassing.
No,
But I know it's by the
Capitol
White House.
Building.
It is. Yeah,
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm not
But
sure.
anyway, you are on the mall.
Yeah.
And actually, what was also really exciting
The
was
George Washington Monument.
that was on the other side, right?
Mhm.
Was we set up the Circus Sarasota Big Top on the mall, and that's where all the performances took place. But a lot of times before the shows, you and the other performers would take a walk down the mall in your costumes. So do you have a favorite costume that you've worn? And if so, can you describe it? Because people can't see.
Yeah, I do like the flamingo costume, which is me riding, it looks like I'm riding a giant pink flamingo, but I'm on stilts, and my legs are the flamingo's legs. It's very exciting, and I'm kind of holding the flamingo's head. But I think my favorite costume has to be this kind of baby blue ringmaster jacket that I wear a lot. It was actually Pedro Race's jacket.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was. It was his jacket from when he was doing ringmastering or performing or something like that. That's the one. It's on the poster for the Big Top Holiday.
Poster, yeah.
I just think it's so pretty, and I love the androgynous dressing, especially for ringmasters, kind of wearing like a man's coat, but also wearing heels and like a leotard. It feels like very feminine, but also you're in charge and more traditional ringmaster, because ringmasters usually are traditionally men, and it's just really fun to kind of break that stereotype, but also like...
It's true.
Yeah.
There are not very many female ringmasters. As a matter of fact, I think before the Ringling shut down, they had their first woman ringmaster or ringmistress, and she only got to work, I think, for a few months. Yeah, the ringmaster class, then it was only like 3 of us. We actually went to see the show because the majority of us were female ringmasters, and we went and we saw the show and we talked to her and stuff like that, and it was just so cool to see like a professional who was a woman, because we've had ringmasters come and talk to us, but they were all males. Right. And they're great. They have so much knowledge, but it's just really cool to see someone who's a woman being in charge of the entire show and stuff like that. It's just so cool. And then how many ringmasters do we normally use in a Sailor Circus show? Usually, I would say about 3. 3? Yeah. This year, we're doing a character show, so we're using 6. Oh, wow. I didn't know that. We have a lot of new ringmasters in the ringmaster class. It's about 10. Oh. Yeah, it's really cool. It's cool to kind of see it catching on more, I feel like, because before it was always just super small classes of like 3 people. I've been a little ringmaster since 6th grade, just kind of like moving up in the ranks. Right. But it's really fun to see all of them hopeful ringmasters. I see a lot of myself when I was in 6th grade in them. So what other acts did you perform besides the high wire? As you were growing up, which other acts did you do? I've done Spanish Web, which is always... So let's explain what the Spanish Web is, because a lot of people don't know. That's true. The Spanish Web is actually not a web at all. It's basically a rope suspended from the air, and it has a hand loop in it, and you spin on the rope and do all sorts of tricks. It's really pretty. So I did that for a couple years, and I really liked it, but I just kind of had to pick and choose what acts I wanted to keep going with to get better. And also I didn't have as much time because I'm doing the full IB diploma candidate. Okay. That's a lot of schoolwork. A lot of schoolwork. Yeah, exactly. I also did Lyra for a lot of years. I was a clown, which I think helped me a lot in Ringmasters too. Yeah. So a Lyra, for those of you that don't know, is a large hoop that's extended on a rope from the ceiling, and the people do poses on it. It's really pretty. It's a beautiful act. Okay. So I'm going back to costumes for a minute. Is there anything specific that you look for in a costume? Like, is there any special feature, like bling or holes? Yeah, I'm a sucker for sparkles. Like, if I see sparkles on a costume, I'm just so excited to wear it, especially for ringmaster costumes, just because they're always so fun when there's sparkles on them. Yeah, that's pretty much my requirement. Yeah, just looking for bling. Yeah, I love it. So, so you've obviously worked with a lot of different coaches because of the different acts that you've been in. Have any of those coaches become role models or mentors for you? One that comes to mind, there's a couple, but my first year of circus, I was doing Lyra, and the coach that year was Wendy Walenda. I think it's pronounced Erin Dina, something like that, but she let us call her Wendy. It's Nick Walenda's wife, and Nick Walenda usually gets a lot of the credit, but
Wendy is also just an amazing aerialist and such a nice person.